it for yourself. Allow technology to do the talking. But pretty much what we do, Charge Anywhere, is that we develop secure payment applications, really for all transaction environments. So we respect the legacy of payments. We develop applications for your regular POS, your hyperphone, very fun. The way the industry is very fun, very fun, and very fun. But for your legacy terminals, we also sell standing machines. If you want to use your laptop as a point-of-sale device with a data card, we have applications for that as well. But we truly shine in converting cell phones and tablets and mobile devices into secure payment acceptance and secure payment issuance devices. So I'm going to show you both sides of that equation. Mobile payment is one of these concepts that is always misunderstood, right? If you're a contractor, you come to my residence, you take out your phone and you accept my credit card, that could be a mobile payment for me. Certainly not per the definition of mobile payment. So I'm going to show you both sides of that equation. If you're an issuer, if you're a bank, you want to have your accounts in phones for customers to be able to buy and pay for that, I'll show you that. If you want to be able to enable your locations, your retailers, your commercial banking consumers to be able to accept payments via phone, tablets, I'm going to be able to show you that as well. Before I do, I'll show you first the transaction flow, and I think it's important that you see what happens at the back end before you see what happens on the transaction itself. So first, the devices that I'm going to show you, and as you consider working in this mobile payment ecosystem, and hopefully you all do have some kind of mobile roadmap. Another of the theories that you can close your eyes and think it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, but that didn't work for internet, so I recommend you to try that. It's definitely going to happen. So I tell you, as you consider that mobile payment ecosystem, one of the things that you have to think about is security, of course. So we make sure that every device that is accepting a credit card anyway is encrypted data at the point of acceptance. So you need to make sure that you're really having end-to-end encryption. So whatever device you're actually using is going to have encrypted data at the point of acceptance. That is going to communicate to the applications. The applications that I'm going to show you, they're all residing in the operating system of the phone. This is not going to be a web session that I'm opening with the phone. As we all know, it is not as secure, it's not as fast, it's not as stable. So you really are in need of an application that resides in the operating system. So when you go into this ecosystem, you have to consider that customers are device agnostic. Not everybody's an Apple customer, an Android, or RIM. So you have to be able to provide a solution that is device agnostic, because your customers will change your phone every 6 or 8 months. Maybe they change the carrier, and you have to be able to provide the same service. You're not going to lose the customer as a merchant or the customer as a wallet customer because he decided to go to another carrier or to another device operating system. So you got to have a provider that can develop apps for each operating system, not just one or the other. So I'm going to show you the transaction going from the device is going to come to the gateway. Then the gateway is going to go ahead, decrypt that data, and then communicate to the other side of that equation to whatever processor, internal host need to accept that transaction. So really important, we are not the processor, right? We're everything else up to the point of the processor. So you will use your merchant account with your bank or your processing partner of choice. It could be a private label program. It could be your own internal programming where you're using your own host. But we are taking that transaction via end-to-end encryption all the way to that point when it's going to go to the processor, okay? So again, very important, encrypting at the time of inception, operating system, software that really is in the operating system of all the different devices. We are adding all these different security layers, and then the gateway communicates in a direct connection in any data protocol to whatever processor is in the other side. And of course, some of the value of the gateway also in the middle is that these applications are going to be changing continuously, right? There's upgrades that happen all the time. And if you were to have that application be connected directly to the processor, they will never be able to keep up with this. So we make sure that these applications are always updated, so whenever your customer turns that phone, he has a version that applies and he's going to be able to accept, provide him with the acceptance of payments or issuance of payments from his phone. The topic that is worth, perhaps worth covering is the PCI compliance. You guys hear this all the time, but one applies to the hardware. We make sure that any hardware that is going to touch your software qualifies from the PCI. The other one applies to the software applications. If you go to the PCI org, you'll see 10, 11, 12, I think right now, validations for Charge Anywhere. And finally, the gate where all the data is PCI level 1 compliant. Many reasons why people go into mobile, and I'll share with you 3 of the main companies that we'll see going into mobile: telcos, banking, and of course the merchants themselves, right? So most of the time is they really want to be able to get to new market segments that they were not getting to before. In the case of telecommunication companies, they obviously want to be able to raise that RPU, and if the phone becomes a cash register, the attrition goes down, because now I can stick to that cell phone as my cash register, not just a communication device. An array of benefits for banks as well, of course. Again, most of the time being able to get to that market segment that I was not getting to before. If I'm subsidizing a terminal for a merchant that doesn't do many transactions, it becomes too costly for me to do that. If the phone company is really placing the terminal but placing the phone, then it lowers my cost of deployment and it allows me to get to segments that I was not getting to before. What kind of segments are we seeing on the acceptance side of the equation? The ones that you would expect: home-based businesses, contractors in general, right? Multi-level organizations, kind of the beauty product people, the people that work in all these different Avon, different companies that do multi-level organization. Delivery and transportation are your regular ones, but I think that it's worth noting that we're seeing a lot of the bigger merchants that we were not expecting to be going to mobile, to using mobile for what we call line busting or traffic control during high season. I might want to be able, if I only have one checkout register, I might want to be able to create a checkout counter anywhere I have a mobile device. So, and why do they use it? Of course, it is faster, it is more cost effective, it's definitely have higher security. In some countries, depending on what country you're working with, the transaction qualifies card present or not. It's going to have a different cost. The transactions that you're going to see here do all qualify as a card present kind of transaction, and it of course improves the customer experience. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of those devices. I might not be able to keep the microphone on as I'm talking, so. The first application you're going to see is the Google Nexus S phone. This phone is NFC enabled, so first I'm going to be a merchant accepting payments from my phone, and then I'm going to show you a consumer paying with the phone. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in the application. Transactions, I'll show you a few of the things that I work for you to look at. One, this is as robust as your regular POS will be, as you will expect. If you look, I can come in here, we have over 110 different configuration parameters you can do right at the device. So it can be as simple as you need it, or it can be as robust as you need it. If you're in a different industry, you can go ahead and change that right at the device. If you want to send transactions directly to a customer record or an invoice number with your accounting system, you can do that. If it's a different industry, it's a different name for that. Tax, if you're in an industry that takes tips, right? Prompt amount by percentage, you can pick different percentage. You can auto apply a given amount. I think worth noting in here is also the GPS. I can also include the GPS stamp if your carrier so allows it, so you don't only have the payment, you have where that transaction took place. Finally, I'm going to show you that more importantly is all the tender types that you can have. So it could be your own product, it could be your own private label, closed loop product, cash, check, any kind of transaction you want to be able to accept right from the palm of your hand. This one happens to be an NFC phone. If you notice that it's connected Bluetooth, so it's connected to the device that will print and can read the card in here. But this one happens to also be an NFC phone. So I'm going to show the card. It's going to take the transaction, be a contactless transaction that I just did. I'm going to submit that transaction. It's going to allow me to sign on the screen. Well, those of you who deal with chargeback, it's important to have the signature captured on the gateway. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. So now that signature with a full copy of the receipt is actually at the gateway. Some of the other transactions that I'll show you. In the the case of countries that are accepting checks, some of you who are processing checks as well, we can do recurring payments right from the device. For example, insurance agents that sell you the policy and then they charge you the first premium and then charge you every month for the service. You can come in here and pick up how many times you're going to be able to build that account. If you want to do a check conversion where you turn the paper into an electronic transaction, I'm first going to look at the transaction. I'm going to type in what I'm looking at, the instrument in my hand, account number, what account I want to pay from. And let's make this a $5 transaction. We submit that. The big difference is that it's going to ask me to take a copy of that check. I don't have a check. I'll take a picture of you guys. You guys are looking good. Excellent. Now that picture is going to be uploaded to the gateway, so when you look at that transaction detail, you actually have the image of the check. Some processors are going to ask for the front and the back, so it depends who you're using for that service. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. I'm going to add a reference on it, but I'm going to go back. Gift and loyalty. If you have a prepaid product, you want to be able, a lot of you are issuing a prepaid card. As you know, if you have a prepaid card that has no money, it's of no value to you. So you got to be able to have loading network of people that can actually load those cards, that can activate them. Anybody that you authorize with a device like this can activate the cards and can load those cards for you as well. So every single tender type within the same device. And as you can see, the receipt printed here. I'm going to leave that application and I'm going to show you now a wallet. Now I'm a customer and I'm going to be using the wallet to pay with my phone. I'm going to log in. My first level of security is to come into the application. And one of the unique things that I want you to see in here is that I have 3 ways of paying with this wallet. And that's important because not every phone is NFC enabled, right? So in here, sadly, I didn't bring my international SIM card, so it's not going to dial out. I won't be able to show you the live transaction going through, but I'll show you the full process of it up to that point. If you have a sign like this in the merchant, so if the merchant has an NFC terminal already, that's great. You can go through the terminal and we can work with that. But if it doesn't, some of the programs that we have already issued are working on a counter-top sign like this. So the merchant has an account in the gateway, so I can come with my phone, just pick up that tab. It's going to show me what merchant I'm buying from. I get to pick my account, right? One of the things that we forget in this mobile wallet concept is that it is not the bank wallet, it's not the telco wallet, it's my wallet, it's a personal wallet. I decide what accounts are in my wallet, or it's not going to have any personal use. So I'm going to go ahead and accept to pay with my credit card, decide the amount, and then I go to my second level of security, which is the PIN, to complete that transaction. Again, I'm not going to send the payment because I don't have a SIM card in this phone and it's not going to go through. But that's really the transaction. If my phone is not an NFC enabled phone and I want to be able to do this via QR tag, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and come in here to the QR tag functionality. It's going to send me to the same place. What account I want to pay from, and I go through the same process again. If I don't have a phone that can scan the tag either, I can go ahead and include that number manually. You see there's 3 ways to pay with this sign. And what I'm doing is pretty much jumping over the merchant terminal, but still giving the ability to take these payments. If I make that payment manually, it's going to take me to the same place. What account I want to pay from, and we go through the whole process all over again. So that's me as a customer paying with my phone. One thing I'm going to show you now, going back to being a merchant, accepting payments with a tablet. The gateway is not only PCI level 1 validated, it's also level 3 when it comes to purchasing card. What that really means is that we can send line item detail on every transaction. So that allows us to do creative things like giving you a full portable cash register. And I'll give you a simple example. I don't know if some of you know, so Papa John's is a pizza chain in the United States. They were going through the games and stadiums selling their inventory, which is pizza, breast-fed sodas, with our device. So we come in here, you log in as you would into any cash register. Once I log in, you can see the full inventory. It could be as extensive as it needs to be. This happened to be the items they had. So I can go ahead and drill down into the item, see the detail of the item. Or I can go ahead and select the items, decide to pay now, of course, whatever currency of your country. I can pay with cash if that's what I want to do. Or I can pay with a credit card, and it will be the same process again. Swipe the card, you submit, and it's done. Okay, and what I'm going to do now that you see the transaction, one as a merchant, one as a consumer paying, before I open up for questions. The important part of signature capture, when you go to the back office, these tools will allow you to have the full detail of those transactions. So you collect the signature in the device, you drill down into the transaction detail, and then you actually have an exact copy of the receipt. And what would happen if there's a chargeback type of issue, you never have to touch a paper receipt again. You can just come in here into the gateway, click in mail, and go ahead and send that receipt to whatever party needs to deal with that transaction. Three things that you're thinking about the mobile payment ecosystem. You can have very secure applications that work on every operating system. You can have the more robust gateway in the world, versatile with a lot of tools that will allow you to do a lot of things. But at the end, you need a device, a platform that will allow you to deploy this technology the way it needs to be deployed. So if I walk into the bank, I can leave in 5 minutes with my phone working as a POS, so I can leave in 5 minutes instead of with a generic checkbook with my accounts in my phone as well as a wallet. So when we provide the technology, we make sure that you can include every phone in the system, and the way it gets deployed, you build the file, the customer is going to get a text message. That text message is going to have a license number in it. That license number already has the services that you have allowed that customer to have. So if you want him to accept gift and loyalty, prepaid products, credit, debit checks, it's all included. Once he goes and he clicks on it, he's going to send it to the store of the phone, App Store, if it's iOS, Android Market, whatever phone store it is. And then you download and you get the look and feel that you've been seeing all along already with the services that apply. And what would happen is 6-8 months down the line, if he decides to change that phone, you can go ahead and activate, deactivate, transfer, and swap those licenses to the new device. And that's all I have so far. So any questions that you may have at this point? I was either very good or go ahead, sir.